Hello, my name is Zoe. I am the Beekeeper and Research Technician for the Crab Lab, or the Centre for Research in Animal Behaviour. I'm quite unique in my position in that not very many universities have their own honeybees, but when you work on bumblebees and solitary bees, quite often the bumblebees are brought in from a commercial unit and solitary bees are found out in the wild. Whereas with honeybees, they need to be managed and looked after, and they actually have to be worked on within the National Bee Unit legislation, or the NBU. So that's my job, to make sure that they are kept to a certain level, but also so that they're managed for the research that we need to do. So they're not bees that are managed in order to produce a lot of honey, like in the commercial world. They're bees that are managed to essentially produce a lot of bees, so that we can take the bees into the lab and work on their behaviours. So the Crab Lab is a centre for research in animal behaviour, therefore we're looking at the honeybee behaviour. We also look a lot of the neuroscience and a lot of the biology inside the bee, because the two relate quite quickly. The one thing I'm going to talk to you about today entails a bit of chemistry. So the Exeter University have worked a lot on pesticides, neonicotinoids, and basically the poisoning of bees with things like caffeine and nicotine, which are both prolific in nature. So for example, silverleaf lime tree is quite prolific with the caffeine, and it can wipe out a whole colony of bees. We'll grab some bees from the entrance, generally during the spring and the summer when there are more of them bringing pollen in, get them into a vial, and then we scrape the pollen off their legs. Honeybees have quite a good phenomenon in that when they get cold, it essentially sends them to sleep. So you can do it with carbon dioxide, or you can do it very simply with ice. So you see these bees here, they're very docile. You may see that their wings start to shiver. So what we do in the lab is we'll take the bees and put them gently on ice and slowly send them to sleep, but only just enough for us to get them into a harness or into a position that we need them to be in order to work on them. It doesn't harm them in any way. So in nature, when it gets really cold over winter, say for example somewhere like America or Canada, it gets really cold and the bees will freeze over completely, and they'll just look like a little pile of ice. In the morning when the sun comes up, it thaws them, and they start to warm themselves up by shivering their wings. And as they start to warm up, they start to move their spiracles, move their muscles, detach their flight muscles and move as much as possible. So it's the same as a human being shivering. And they'll warm up and fly off and continue foraging just as they did the day before. Mm-mm.